Hello and welcome. I'm Dablola Ogunshaki, and this morning we'll be reviewing the front pages of the dailies and analyzing them. And funny enough, it seems all the stories on the front pages that the same. Starting with the Wike's pictures and their meeting, in London and the PDP crisis. But of course, let's move straight to the front pages of the dailies, and I'm starting with Vanguard. Vanguard this morning is leading with 2023. Obasanjo, Wike, Obi, Duke, others meet in London. As Atiku finally meets Wike in London, Atiku to aides and associates stopped deriding Wike. Others. Tinubu's meeting with Rivers governor, sign of desperation. That's according to ex-VP's camp, says reconciliation still in progress. We are yet to receive a reconciliation committee report, that's according to BOT chair. Why Atiku BOT members should pacify Wike, that's coming from Nazif, that's the PDP chieftain. PDP crisis, major albatross on Atiku's chances, that's according to Adeyeye Swagger boss. You can see that story on page 5, and there's a picture of their meeting in London. And of course, there's Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State, and Governor Okezie Pazu of Abia State after a meeting in London yesterday. Now, on page 3, we have military kills Sabise Forest ISWAP commander Uzaifa and 37 others. How to revive Nigeria's steel industry, that's coming from Naseni EVC. You can see that on page 6. On page 6 still, we have a federal government defends foreign borrowings with infrastructure projects. Federal government warns Nigeria against traveling to northern Cyprus, and you can see that story on page 3. Stories above on page 2, we have Castina bandits kidnap commuters, some feared killed. On page 3, police take over NNPP secretariat in Borno, arrest their party leader. And on page 6, we have Nigerians' low public investment in education sector will imperil 2030 global goal United Nations wants. Still on page 6, 2023 campaign on issues, shun aid speech, Jonathan Sambo tax candidates and parties. Lastly, on the front page of Vanguard, on page 19, we have a Vanguard MSME Summit. Federal government acts on partnership for competitiveness. And that's all we have. From there, we'll move straight to the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with United Kingdom peace meetings. Article 6, Wike support. Obasanjo pushes Obi's agenda. Rivers governors tables demand. Wants Atiku's commitment in writing ahead of agreements. Wike's men favor alliance with Tinubu, says Obi lacks strong structure. APC presidential aspirants may meet over Tinubu Shatima tickets. And we also have the 2 photo stories on the Punch of the meeting. Now, on page 7, we are to have fire shake can't remain Ekiti PDP's sole commander. That's according to State Publicity Secretary. Ogun girl sells baby for 600,000 naira. You can see that on page 5. Lagos Ibadan traffic, motorists, passengers lament early experience. Now, stories above. On page 19, we have power crisis. Disco's debt to Gencos eats at 2 trillion naira. On page 29, we have troops intercepted 3.7 billion naira stolen crude oil that's coming from DHQ. Lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have gunmen attacked 527 local governments, thousands killed, kidnapped, and that's according to reports. Away from that, we'll move to The Nation. The Nation this morning is leading with Oshibajo, Lawal, Amechi, 19 others to unite for Tinubu. Ex-APC presidential aspirant to meet in Abuja next week. You can see that on the front page of The Nation, and it continues on page 28. 2023, Atiku OBO talks with Wike in London. Obasanjo seeks the support for Labour Party candidates. UN urged Nigeria to raise education vote by 13%. Woman sells a 3-week-old baby for 600,000 in Ogun. and Lagos divert traffic. And the stories above, we have Oyo begins distribution of 1 billion naira loans to entrepreneurs. Banks, telcos compete for financial service, says CBN. And lastly, on the nation, we have Akeredolu upgrades monarchs. You can see that on page 6. Away from the nation, we move to The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper this morning is leading with Wike's United Kingdom meeting with Obasanjo, Obi, Atiku. It is a 2023 puzzle. PDP confident of amicable reconciliation. Atiku orders Lamido orders to hold verbal warfare over Wike. And strategic meeting to unite Obasanjo, Amici, other APC presidential aspirants in the works. You can see that on page 6. And we have a photo story here on the front page. It says, read the big story on pages 4 and 5. And the writer says, states and theories, it shows of severe water shortage, struggle for revival. And stories above, we have NNPP kicks as police seal Bono office ahead inauguration by Kwankwaso. You can see that on page 3. Avoid Northern Cyprus, where about 20 Nigerians have been killed. Federal government warns. Buhari must apologize for poor governance, says a Middle Belt group. You can see that on page 27. And lastly, on the front page of The Guardian, we have Benin monarch cautions against diversion of Benin artifacts. And you can see that on page 20 of The Guardian newspaper. And that's all we have on the front pages of the dailies this morning. Join us after the break as we analyze the stories with our guest.